What's going on, YouTube? JT's Reborn here, and welcome to another edition of After the Movie. I just got back from a screening of Blumhouse's Fantasy Island. That's right, a reimagining of the 1970s TV show, which I'm not really familiar with. I never really watched. Done as a horror movie. You got some of the same people who worked on that movie, Truth or Dare, in this thing. Michael Pena's in it, Michael Rooker, Maggie Q, a few other actors who I've never heard of. This is a horror movie. It's a Blumhouse one, so they can be good or they can be really bad. This one is really, really bad. Oh my god. So, going into this thing, I'm like, okay, the concept of taking a 70s TV show and putting a horror spin on it, that could be kind of fun. There were no screenings for this thing on Thursday, so that gave me the insight into thinking, okay, you're not going to have any, like, pre-screenings for Thursday nights. That doesn't speak fondly of your film. That tells me bad things are going to happen, and yeah, it was pretty stupid. But like the problem with it is it's not like funny stupid. Like I've seen some really funny dumb horror movies in theaters that I just cackle at. I laughed hysterically, and I have a good time at shitty ones like this. This one, no. Like this one pretty much is bad on all accounts. I mean, I'll say this: it's shot nice. I mean, the island looks nice. But there's a lot of issues I have with it. So, the plot of Fantasy Island, a bunch of people win some sort of contest to go to this thing to have their ultimate fantasies / wishes granted. They go here, and, of course, bad things happen when they make these wishes. Michael Pena is Mr. Rourke, and, you know, stuff happens. Everybody, oh, God, where do I start with this thing? I don't know, because it just kept getting dumber and dumber and dumber, like, as it went on. I just sat there like, wow, what can we do to make it even stupider? And, like, they would go out and do it. The characters, there's not much to them. They're not very interesting. They literally explain their entire lives. It's kind of amazing, actually. Like, you know when you meet somebody, like, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm so-and-so, and then you kind of talk with them, and you slowly get to know them. These people, they come in here, hey, what's your name? Oh, my name is Joe. I'm this many years old. This is my height, weight, birth date number. This is my exact fantasy. This is who I am. This is every single detail about my life. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, hi, so-and-so. My name is da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Every bit of exposition. My whole purpose in the plot is this. My purpose in the plot is this. Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. And I just kept going like, oh my god, they're literally exposition dumping everything. Like, everything is explained constantly. Like, something happens, like, wait a minute. I gotta stop and explain everything because our audience is too dumb to actually think. Here we go. Let me explain this. Let me explain this. Let me explain this. And I'm just sitting there, just like, oh my god, this is getting dumber and dumber. So then they go there. They have their wishes. There's some magic going on this island. Michael Pena as Mr. Rourke. I guess that was a character in the TV show. Like I said, I've never really watched it. I did watch a Daffy Duck kind of parody or movie or whatever it was on it before, and I thought that was kind of funny. But anyway, so they go in. They make their wishes. Or their fantasies, and a bunch of shit just kind of goes wrong. Things go poorly. And then you find out, like, some of the real reasons that they're here. It tries to throw a bunch of twists at you, but, like, it gets to the point where, like, everything is trying to be, like, a big reveal or twist. And then it's like, no, there's no surprise in this in here. It's like, what? Like, by the end of it, I'm just like, this just keeps getting dumber and dumber. Like, what's going to happen next? But there's no, like, funny badness to there. There's just obnoxious douchebaggery. Like, for instance, you had these two brothers, and they make sure to let you know that, hey, we're brothers! Bro! Yeah, that's my dude, man! What? Did you say something derogatory term about my brother just because I'm a Caucasian male and he's an Asian? Oh, just kidding, man! Ha ha! We're bros! Oh, what do we want to do? We want to party it up with these models and stuff. Yeah, man! Yeah, this is it! But the thing is, it's PG-13, so they can't go to the full extreme of it. I'm just sitting there like, oh... Had this been rated R... Had it been excessively gory and graphic and really taking this thing to the next level, we could have had something here. Like, man, I want to take this concept and have, like, a Paul Verhoeven make something out of this. Because he would have made it very funny and entertaining. This is just, like, slow. It drags on. It's, like, 2 hours long. I was sitting there, I'm like, oh, my God, what is this thing going to end? And then some of the dumbest stuff happens in it. Like I said, like, they're all on the island, these 5 characters. And then we come to find out that they're all linked to the death of somebody else. But it was kind of like there was a burning building, and like just like this cop's like, oh, I could have gone in and done something. I really didn't do it. This one girl's like, oh, I could have gone back in there, but there was a burning building. These other guys are like, oh, I could have done something. And then this other girl, who who was there, was like, well, I got cold feet that night, and he should have been with me, but I found out he died in a fire, and we only talked once for one day, and we were going to go on our first date together, but all of you are responsible for it, so my fantasy is to have all of you here and watch To Kill. And I'm like, wait, what? But then why were you helping somebody out throughout the rest of the movie? Like I said, it just got dumber and dumber, and I just sat back, And then Michael Pena, the whole reason he's on the island is his wife, his wife died, he found Fantasy Island, and he has to stay in this role as Mr. Rourke, and you can't really interfere so much. People have to see their fantasies to the end. That usually means something bad. So the whole reason it says, like, the only way he can keep his fantasy going of him being with his wife, who's like a servant there, or works with them, is just so he can, well, he has to kind of be the guiding person on the island so people can live their fantasies. And in that case, his wife stays, kind of alive or whatever. Like, she died, but he gets to keep his fantasy going of having his wife around. Then by the end of the movie, he decides, okay, I can't go on like this. I can't let these people die anymore. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to kind of go to my redemption thing. And then by the end of it, it's like, okay, we could destroy this whole thing, like the whole magic drinking water that allows people to grant their wishes. And they just decide him and like this other guy just kind of decide to stay on the island. And I'm sitting back here thinking, well, wait a minute, why did you do that? Like, why, what? Well, your whole reason was, the only reason you were staying on the island was just because of your wife, and now you're just like, oh, I'm just going to keep the island going, keep it a secret. Like, just destroy the fucking fountain that allows people to grant their wishes. Otherwise, nobody's going to even know how this works. For real? Like, this just got so dumb. And Michael Rooker's in this movie, too, and he was like, I was a PI, private investigator for this island, didn't believe its magic powers. It's like, oh, no, just take this canteen water. That'll show people to why this magic's here and say it exists. We can expose the island, we can destroy it, and yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. But that amounts to nothing. That literally amounts to nothing in the movie. It's like completely forgotten by the end. And by the end of the movie, one of the characters, so some of these characters who were misled and led through like all this hellish stuff, by the end of it, they're all just like, okay, we're gone. And then like one guy's like, I'm alive, bro. All right, bro. The only reason you're going to be alive is so I can stay on this island. But you're alive. You can live your life. I didn't wish back the other guy who just sacrificed himself to save us, but you get to go too. But I get to stay on this island and work here while we continue to let more people just go to this island and all this horrible stuff's going to happen to them. Okay, like I said, it just got gradually stupider, like dumber and dumber as the movie proceeded to continue. And by the end of it, I was just sitting there like, what the fuck, what was this movie? Like, oh my God, and the thing is too, if this were R-rated, you get a competent director, you go through a few more like drafts and really flesh things out a bit more, this could have worked. This is like the concept itself, I actually kind of like. The execution, I do not. Oh, and like the jump scares were pitiful. There was no scares in this thing whatsoever. The humor, I did not laugh once. I just kind of sat there like, well, like I don't, like it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it just gradually got dumber and dumber as it kept going and going and going. And I just sat by the end of it, I'm like, why did I just waste time watching this movie? Like, what was the point of it? This is just really stupid. But, yeah, I can't really think of anything else to add to this thing. But, like I said, the ending was dumb. I'm sure the original show is a lot better. And I understand kind of the lesson of it. It's like, you can't wish all this, blah, 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 blah. Bad things happen. You get the shit like that. But by the end of it, I just didn't care. And again, this is another horror movie in 2020 that has been a big stinker. So far, the two best that I've seen, if you can call them like that, the one I enjoyed the most so far was Underwater. I actually really liked Underwater. And then, like, the one, like, right below it, I'd say is Gretel and Hansel. Other than that, the three other horror movies I've seen so far, which was this, The Grudge, and The Turning, have all been pretty bad. So, once again, we're not off to a great start in terms of horror movies this year. Although The Invisible Man is coming out, and that movie looks amazing. So, I can't wait for The Invisible Man because, Universal stuff, classic monsters was my shit. And this looks like a great take on it. It looks intense and thrilling. I can't wait to see that one. But, anyways, that's all I have to say about Blumhouse's Fantasy Island. If I had my fantasy, this movie would never exist, or a better movie would take its place. But sadly, you know, this isn't a movie, and I can't get that wish. But anyways, if you've seen Blumhouse's Fantasy Island, or if you've seen some other generic horror movie, or you're not going to plan on seeing it, just tell me your thoughts. Or watch the original show. If you watch the original show, let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. Be sure to hit that bell for notifications, like this video, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. Come back next time. We're going to be talking about, I think next week's Invisible Man, or some other movie, or whatever I ended up seeing. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Really appreciate you all taking the time to watch this. Thank you again. Take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.